guys, and welcome to an octave higher. Now, depending on how this goes, this might be the last video. Or the last episode, I guess, for this, because I might be getting a semi-ending twice in a row. And I don't know how I could have done that. I'm trying to do things differently, and they implemented a new way to get multiple endings, but like, how the fuck do you get a different ending? Like, I'm trying really hard to choose things I didn't choose before to get a different ending, but it doesn't seem to be working, and it's really irritating me now. So, yeah. I don't know. I guess we'll just see what happens from here on out. Alright, wind day 31:06 till AM 3:13. And we're in Fran's perspective. Morning cuts my sleep short yet again. I try to yawn myself awake, but to no avail. Between me and the productive day are my jealous and enticingly warm blankets. No matter how much I try to get up, they convince me to stay down. Yesterday was eventful. Why did Frederick say that the piano wasn't going to make another sound? Wasn't he the one who was interested in my research from the beginning? If he isn't, that means he has other reasons for supporting this project. I think I have an idea what those reasons are, which brings me to the bigger problem. Since the fight with Frederick, Elise has become spiritless. She seems drained like a mage without mana. Poor girl. As a result, after that little incident, we weren't able to make any progress with research. Her magic returned to being completely ineffective, like in the laboratory. The piano even stopped sounding its mysterious note. If she can't find her rhythm again, it'll be seriously bad for me. We haven't produced enough data yet to create a thesis. We have to get her back to normal somehow. Oh, my head hurts. I spent all night thinking about this, and I'm not getting anywhere. I need to refresh myself. I spring up from my bed, take a shower, and get dressed for school. I find Elise and Aretha waiting for me outside. Greetings, friends! Aretha is energetic as usual. Good morning, friends. Are you ready to get started? I am. Unexpectedly, but not unwelcomely, Elise is also full of energy. Maybe Aretha's liveliness has rubbed off on her. Yeah, definitely. Let's do our best, Elise. Alright. As I'm speaking with Elise, I notice Aretha inspecting my face closely, so I ask her, "What is it? You're going to make me blush if you keep staring." "Nothing, it's just, there are bags under your eyes." "Oh, I stayed up really late." "Huh? What were you doing all night?" "Nothing, just..." "Oh my gosh, did you have a girl stay the night again?" No! Franz is a beast! You're unbelievable, Franz! Or at least I'm not good enough for you! Hey... Aretha pulls Elise away and drags her to the omnibus stop with an exaggerated gait as if each step were a stomp. "Elise, be careful! Franz is a sexual predator! If you stand too close to him, you might get pregnant!" "But what? Is that even possible?" Elise's eyes are wide open, more in awe than horror. "Yes!" That's a frightening magic spell. There are no smells like... Smells? Did I say smells? Jesus. There are no spells like that! I hope Aretha hasn't been putting all sorts of weird thoughts into Elise's head. I spend half the morning Cannot talk. I spend half the morning commute explaining to Elise that there are in fact no magic spells that could make a girl pregnant. Oh, so that's how it is. I thought it was something you learned in magical science. Which part of it sounded like science to you? But it's magical science. You're supposed to know all spells that ordinary magicians don't. No, magical science is not about learning spells. It's not? Then why do you go to a magic school? How do I explain this? Elise is hardly the only person to have this misconception about magical science. Many students go into magical science hoping to learn how to cast high-level magic spells, or to learn secret techniques to make their magic stronger, but really, magical science is mostly math and theory. Vocational schools are better for students who are only interested in using magic. Magical science is about spellcasting as much as archaeology is about digging. Elise, you're misunderstanding something. Finally, Aretha comes to my rescue. She's usually better at explaining things to people without scientific or engineering background. Fran's ability to make a girl pregnant with the sheer power of mind is not a magic spell. It's his superpower. No. Franz, is this a power you have to try to use, or does it happen accidentally? I spend the rest of the morning commute explaining to Elise that I don't in fact possess a superpower of any kind. Oh, jeez. Friends? Yeah? Can you help me with something? What is it? I assembled a magic machine prototype in one of the empty rooms in the east building yesterday. Now I have to move it to my classroom. The prototype is pretty big, so I need someone who can cast levitation. The levitation spell, like all other spells that control air, is based on faith, so basically she needs someone who is gifted in faith. I don't mind helping Aretha, but after what happened yesterday at the factory, I was hoping to start work with Elise as soon as possible. Well, I can find somebody else to help me if you don't have the time. Ah, shit. Save. 'Cause... Okay. I'm at 1. This would get me to 2. And then I'd be 2 to 2. Which I didn't have 2 to 2 before. I just had 1. And then I probably got 2 the last game where I was like, Aretha. And then doing and helping her with this. But... oh, God. I wonder what would happen if I just didn't help. Because I know that if I did, I would probably get a point with Aretha, so... oh, God. Maybe I'll just work on the experiment with Elise? Let's try that. Oh, I got a point up with Elise and friends! Oh, what? Oh, I don't think I ever got that before. I don't think there was anything that caused me to get that before. I don't think. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe when it was like... oh. Maybe if it was ditching Aretha and going to the piano to help. Oh, wait a minute. If you ditch Aretha and go to the piano first, maybe that gets you a point with Elise and Franz. And then if you ditch Aretha again, you'd get a second point. Oh! Okay! I think I'm figuring this out, slowly. I'm sorry, Aretha. I need to get to work on the experiment as soon as possible. I understand. Don't worry. I can find someone else to help me. See you later, Franz, Elise. See you later, Aretha. Aretha parts as I silently wave my goodbye. So, let's get going. Uh-oh. Elise takes a few steps back, hugging her chest. What? Elise, superpowers aren't real. I know. Let's go. I knew it. Aretha was a bad influence. Oh, she's playing jokes. Mr. Byron and Miss Shelley, good morning. Good morning, Professor. Good morning, Professor Poe. After the exchange of greetings with Professor Poe, Elise and I begin preparing the experiment right away. Elise gulps down a bottle of mana potion while I'm setting up a number of measuring tools and other lab equipment. Are you ready? Yeah! A kindly, compassionate aura radiates from Elise, her eyes fixed on shattered pieces of window glass lying on a desk in front of her. Oh! The glass is still in pieces. I didn't feel anything abnormal when she cast her magic. All readings from the measuring tools show a regular revive spell. Let's try again. Okay. Uh-oh. Oh, no. I wonder why it felt different yesterday. You mean when I tried it on the piano? Yeah. Elise peers at the shards of glass, studying them. She picks up a shard, brings it closer in front of her eyes, pokes a finger at it, puts it back down on the desk, and finally shakes her head in resignation. Hey, why don't you try casting your spell on me? Huh? What spell? The usual, revive. Huh? But revive is a spell for healing a life-threatening injury. She knits her brows and, after thinking for a second, stares at me sharply. Maybe I can stab you first. No! Professor Poe glances at us, half suppressing a laugh. I just want to try feeling your magic directly with my own body. It doesn't have to heal a real injury. You want to feel my magic with your body? Franz, I'm just 15. It's not like that! You and Aretha will be the death of me, you know? This is for science! Ah, well, if it's for science, then anything is okay. Oh, jeez. I wonder whether to comment on such unsound logic, but decide against it. Okay, lay it on me. I stand in front of Elise and take a deep breath. She lightly puts her index finger on my chest with her eyes closed. At the moment the spell is cast, I feel something like a gentle breeze, but without the air movement, lightly cooling my whole body from my skin to my internal organs, leaving a peculiar but not unpleasant tingling sensation. How is it? It felt like any other healing magic. Let's try it again. Okay. She touches my chest again with her index finger. Still the same. Try doing it differently. What do you mean by differently? I don't know. Just try anything. Okay. Not good enough. Think about something else. Imagine that your magic had evolved into something unique. Something original. Okay. Still no good. Try something different. Different. Got it. I'll try it. Elise accumulates her mana again and... What? This aura. What is this? This is not the normal compassion aura. There's something different about this compassion that I've never felt before. Like there's a lot of determination in it. There's fortitude. From the spot where her finger touches my chest through the thin fabric of my shirt, I feel a certain kind of warmth spreading into my whole body. It's a wholly different sensation from the cool breeze I felt before. In a few seconds, the warmth starts broiling. The temperature rises up. My body feels a burning sensation. Huh? What? Summon! Oh no! My body combusts in a blaze. Ah! Hot! 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 Ah! Franz, you're on fire! She just set him on fire! She switched from compassion magic to fucking fire. Oh my god, what the hell, girl? What the fuck? Is that... Oh my goodness, what the hell? Oh jeez. With the speed of panic, I cast water to douse the fire. Oh my god. What the hell? That was new. Oh, I didn't expect that. Oh my god. My clothes are completely drenched and dripping water to the floor. Now that I think about it, I could have cast wind to blow out the flames without soaking myself. Oh god. Oh Jesus Christ. Oh god, I can't even. Franz? I thought your compassion aura was different. It didn't occur to me that it felt a lot like courage. You told me to do something different, so I unconsciously, I swear it wasn't intentional, honest. Oh ho ho ho, it seems your young assistant is a little too eager. Don't worry, Franz can take a little beating every now and then. Oh ho ho ho. Professor, I want to bring Elise to the factory again. Yesterday we couldn't record any data because I left all the instruments here. Do what you must, young scholar. You did not ask permission. Thanks, Professor. Let's go, Elise. Okay. Oh, would you do me a favor? Sure, Professor. What can I do for you? The professor hands me a paper on which he had been writing until a minute ago. On your way, please deliver this to Joff Godwin. I examine the paper. It has my handwriting on it with some corrections by Professor Poe and his signature at the bottom. Isn't this the budget plan I made a few days ago? Yes, Joff wanted to know how the research fund would be used. I see. I'll stop by the Lord's mansion on my way home from the factory. Please do. With Elise's help, I take some measuring tools, though we still can't carry the big ones, and leave the laboratory. Before going to the factory, I dry myself in the courtyard using wind, and we have a quick lunch together in the cafeteria. Then we set out. Once we've arrived, we immediately head to the piano and start preparing for the experiment. This time we have some equipment from the lab, so we'll be able to measure data more precisely. Elise stands next to the piano, same as yesterday, and casts her spell. That feeling occurs on the first try, that strange mistaken belief that suddenly arises in my mind where I'm convinced, utterly convinced for a moment that the piano has been fixed, but of course it hasn't. The readings from the measuring tools show abnormality, but nothing that I can make sense of. I take note of the numbers for later analysis. I urge Elise to keep going. There is that bizarre feeling again. No matter how many times I've felt it, no matter how certain I am that the piano will remain broken, for that instant, when the magic is cast, I am positive, without a sliver of doubt, that the piano had made a sound. It's only a moment later, when the light of the magic fades, that I know that there hasn't been any sound. The measurement readings surprise me. Once again, they show results completely different from when we did it in the lab, but they also don't look anything like the readings I got from the first spell Elise cast a moment ago. It's as if the results were strange just for the sake of being strange, irregular, illogical, inconsiderate. Elise continues. Again, more strange results, different from the results in the lab, different from the previous 2 sets of readings. When we're done with today's experiment, the piano's still mute. The sun has already turned red in the west. Ah, why won't you sing? Elise is slumped to the piano, attempting awkwardly to give it a hug. We did get some data. I may be able to learn something from it. To be honest, I don't know how much I'll be able to learn from the data. At a glance, it looks like gibberish to me, but I need to keep Elise's spirits up, or we may never be able to unearth the underlying pattern. My assurance seems to be working. Elise gets up from the piano and faces me with renewed vigor in her glittering eyes. Really? Will I be able to revive the piano after you've studied the data? I'll do my best. Will I be able to revive the piano after you've done your best to study the data? I don't know. Hopefully you will. Piano. What? While Elise is still whimpering like a small animal, we hear footsteps from the grassy path that leads to the backyard. Elise? Elise and I turn to the direction of the voice and find a girl around my age, looking as tired as her dirt and dust-covered, sweaty factory uniform. Jude! Elise, I heard you resigned from the factory yesterday. What happened? Why didn't you come and see me? What are you doing here? Jude, I'm sorry. I wanted to see you yesterday, but... anyway, I'm fine. I'm now working as a research assistant for Franz. Research assistant? Franz? The girl's gaze is fixed on me. She observes me with suspicion clearly written on her face. Hi, I'm Franz Byron, a student at Conservatoire d'Ouverture. What do you want from Elise? Her accusatory tone contrasts with the anxiety in her gait as she slowly puts herself between me and Elise, like a scared doe who forces herself to be courageous in order to shield her fawns from a lion. Jude, it's okay. Franz isn't a bad guy. He's helping me repair the piano. The piano? This thing? The girl meekly points a finger at the broken piano. Yeah, Franz is researching a way to repair it with compassion magic, so we're helping each other. Elise, you can't fix a piano with magic. Yes, we can. We've already making progress, I think. Elise. She glances at me, unsure of what to say, before continuing to speak with Elise. Elise, we're proles. We don't mix with the bourgeois. You can't be a bourgeois. But I don't consider myself a bourgeois. That's right, because you're just a factory worker. Come back to reality, Elise. There's no happy ending in this, you know. Why not? I'll make my own happy ending if I have to. Elise's determination stands in stark contrast with the other girl's obvious concern. No, Elise. The girl smiles, but her smile looks sorrowful. Happy endings are a luxury. And the thing about us proles is, we can't afford luxuries. Take care. She stares at me again with a mixture of anxiety, suspicion, and confusion before turning away and running back along the path. I'm sorry, Jude. The girl Elise calls Jude has already disappeared from our view, but Elise is still staring into the emptiness left by the girl. Your friend? My best friend. Jude was the one who talked her boss into letting me work at the factory, even though at the time I was only 11. It's MM's policy not to employ children under 13. At 13 years old, Jude had only started working at the factory herself. The boss said that if I couldn't perform at work, he would not only fire me, but also Jude. But Jude was willing to take that risk because she had faith in me. I don't know what would have happened to her if she had been fired from the factory. Her parents had passed away and she was living alone. I did make a lot of mistakes in the beginning though, so Jude always had to clean up my mess and ended up working much harder than she should have. She was only 13, Franz. The red of the sun is reflected in Elise's droopy eyes. Why did you have to work at 11 years old? Because if I hadn't, Madame Beauvoir would have made me pay for my living expenses by working at her brothel. Her life must have been difficult. I've always felt that Elise's magic is really strong for a girl her age, but now I know that it's because this girl has been using magic to earn a living since she was 11. Magic is her only means of survival. Magic is the only thing she could depend on to save herself. Hey, Franz. What is it? Could you take Jude as your assistant too? Elise pleads to me with sorrow in her face. The usual bright smile nowhere to be seen. Take Jude as my assistant? I don't need another assistant, that's for sure. Jude wouldn't be any help for my research even if I hired her. But I could probably make some things up just so she could be a research assistant on paper. Even Elise isn't actually an assistant, that's just what I call her. So yes, I might be able to help Jude if I really wanted to, provided that we got Professor Poe's approval. There is a small chance that I could help Elise as best friend, which would no doubt make Elise happy too. But I'm sorry, Elise, my research project is not a charity. Is she gifted in compassion? No, Jude's traits are courage and faith. Then she can't be my research assistant. Sorry. Disappointed but hardly surprised, Elise forces a weak smile. That's too bad, but I understand. Thanks for thinking about it, Franz. I'm sorry. I wish I could help your friend. That's okay, you've already done so much for me. I'm glad I met you and Aretha. Elise's face is starting to brighten up just as the orange sky fades to an ever-deepening blue. It's almost sundown. Shall we go? I still have to deliver this budget plan to Lord Godwin. Yeah, let's go. We exited the factory, walk to a street in the city area, hail a taxi carriage, and head to Lord Godwin's house. I hope Frederick won't be there. I don't know what I should say to him. It's already dark when we arrive at Lord Godwin's house. Just like last time, the butler shows us to a room where we're to wait for Lord Godwin. Ugh. Side note, when it comes to Jude, I feel like the dialogue was longer before, at least in the first playthrough. But it wasn't this time. So I think something may have changed, but I don't know if it's enough to change the ending. I suppose we'll find out. Elise seems uncomfortable when she looks at the piano, but she doesn't say anything. Before long, Lord Godwin enters the room. He eyes me with the same disinterested look he gave me when I was here with Professor Poe, then shifts his gaze to Elise without changing his expression, then to me again. Good evening, my lord. Professor Poe wanted me to give this to you. He quietly takes the budget plan from my hand and briefly studies it, his eyeballs making small movements until they reach the bottom of the paper where the professor has signed the document. He asks tonelessly, Anything else? No, my lord. He turns his back on us and steps off to the door from which he entered earlier. My lord? Hearing Elise's voice, Lord Godwin halts his steps. Without moving his body, he turns his head to regard Elise with one eye, but says nothing. My lord, is Frederick not here? Finally, he turns his body and faces me. No. Do you have knowledge of his whereabouts? No, my lord. Should we? I was told he went to the conservatoire yesterday. Did you see him at the conservatoire? No, because yesterday we were doing experiments at the... Huh? You haven't seen him since yesterday? No, I have not. What? Frederick didn't come home yesterday? But it was already getting late when he left us at the factory. Franz, could Frederick have gotten lost in the Proles district? I wouldn't bet against the possibility. Lord Godwin's right eyebrow is raised very slightly. This is the first noticeable facial expression since entering the room. The Proles district? Fucking Christ, I can't talk. The Proles district? Why was he there? We were at the factory conducting research. He came to observe us. I see. The Lord leaves without another word. Franz, what do you think happened? I don't know. What should we do? Let's just leave it to the police. It's not like we can do anything. But... Elise hesitates for a moment, but soon finds her resolve. I'll go look for him. What? You don't even know where to look. He's probably still somewhere near the factory. Please let Aretha know that I won't be home until 8. Elise quickly sets off to look for Frederick. Hey, wait! The girl stops and looks at me questioningly. I don't know if we'll be able to find Frederick, but what I do know is that I can't let Elise go by herself. Although she knows the Pearl Streets well, she may still run into trouble. I'll go with you. Great, let's go! And so the search for Frederick begins, and this is where we find out whether or not I get the bad ending that I don't quite enjoy. Which I might. I'm not looking forward to it if I do, but I might. Alright. I will leave the suspense for next time. Ha ha ha! 'Cause I'm evil this way. Not really, but, you know. I need to keep your interest there a little bit, including my own, 'cause I don't really want to find out whether or not I fucked up. That kind of hurts my soul a little bit if I did, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens in the next one. Hopefully it's not what I think it is. Alright, see ya! Hey guys, and this is my end card. So I decided to change it up a little bit because this series, or parts of the game, I guess, I don't really know what to call them anymore, because there's some games that are episodic, some games that aren't, some games that are in a series, some games that aren't. Anyway, this has been going on for a while, so I thought I'd change up a few things, like the thumbnail and the end card, because, yeah, no one wants to hear me say the same thing all the time. But if you do want to see more of my content, just click on my icon and it'll take you to my channel. If you want to see the next episode of An Octave Higher, click on the annotation for that, or just even hover the mouse over it. It'll tell you whether it's up or not. I've been playing Minecraft Story Mode, so if you want to check that out, there's an annotation for that. There's also an annotation for the Reject Demon Toko, which is completed, and the Sword of Asumi, which is another type of visual novel out there that I was kind of intrigued by for a short period of time. So yeah, if any of that interests you, go check it out. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Later!